Okay, when I uploaded the last video, it got blocked. So this one here, Brundle admits sub-meetings determine outcomes. It got blocked on upload because there was some copyright protected material that they don't want me to use. So what it meant was the visibility, the video couldn't be seen, and I had to use the YouTube tool to trim that section out. Now I'm going to go through that section in this video and slow it down in the hope that it will be seen. So this is what they showed us. You can see this video yourself. I'll put the link to it again in the description box so you can see the video in full, but I'm going to try and go through the bit that they blocked the previous video on. So let's have a look.
Perhaps it would be inaccurate to say that new footage has emerged. The footage has been there, but a new story has emerged, hasn't it, Craig? Can you tell us more?
This is radio footage, radio traffic between the race director Michael Massey, or to put it more correctly, radio traffic from Red Bull to the race director Michael Massey. Principally what has been made a fuss about in the last couple of days, and you're right, it's not new, it's old. It's been in the public domain on YouTube since the 16th of December.
Okay, rather than tell people it's not new, it's old, don't worry about this, blah, blah, blah. No, let's get to it.
So 4 days after the race, but one or two news outlets have taken hold of it, and one or two prominent individuals on social media as well, including Damon Hill. But what I think it seems to show, and we'll have a listen to it I think in a moment, is Michael Massey, rather than being race director, it sounds rather as though he is being directed in terms of what to do by the Red Bull pit wall. Perhaps we should have a quick listen to it now, and you can...
Let's have a listen. Now, what you've got to bear in mind is the wording that Red Bull use. It's done by design. It's done by design so as to not incriminate themselves and leave things ambiguous, so that they could argue that they weren't doing certain things. Likewise with the Toto Wolff script. Okay, doesn't explain the situation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this down on the speed in the hope that it will bypass the copyright. So we'll see how it works. I'm going to take it down to 0.75 and we'll see it, because with that hopefully it's still audible. Let's go for it.
You can make your own judgment.
So this is Jonathan Wheatley. Obviously those
black cars, you don't need to let them go right.
You don't need to let them go right around the track. Obviously those lapped cars, you don't need to let them go right around the track.
Either way around and catch up with the back of the pack.
And let them catch up with the back of the pack. Let's just go through that bit again.
Oh, so you don't need to let them go right the way around and catch up with the back of the pack.
So the regulation is, once the last lapped car has passed the leader in the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. That's the regulation. And by wording and interpretation of that regulation, indeed, you do not need to let them fully catch the back of the pack. The race director is within his rights to withdraw the safety car after it has performed that mandatory lap, with those released cars still adrift of the main pack. However, that is the minimum regulation. Okay, so what the race director has demonstrated on 4 occasions, which is done in the previous video, Brazil 2019, Spain 2019, Sakir 2020, Eiffel 2020, is that he has kept the safety car on track for yet a further lap beyond the mandatory one to ensure that those released cars fully caught the back of the pack, to make sure that sporting fairness was restored to all. The entire purpose of the regulation is to restore sporting fairness to all. More often than not, that procedure does restore sporting fairness. Once them lapped cars are released, they get the remainder of the lap that they're released on, plus 1 additional lap. And more often than not, that is enough for them to make it around and catch the back of the pack. But if they haven't, then the race director can keep the safety car lapping if he deems that that's the case, that he feels he needs to do so to restore sporting fairness. Now, ultimately, if they hadn't have fully caught the back of the pack, and had he chosen to go racing again, well, you couldn't say he'd done anything wrong. Okay, by withdrawing the safety car in accordance with the regulations, with them still being adrift, well, he's carried out the minimum requirement of the regulation. Okay, there would be an argument to say that you've been left disadvantaged, because you have. But everybody is aware of the regulations. This is what happens in the event of a safety car. This is the opportunity that you'll get to be afforded to restore sporting fairness. Now, it is the race director's role to ensure that the regulations are never applied in such a manner to prevent sporting competition between those competitors. So it actually is the race director's responsibility to look at that event and look at the impact it's had on those competitors by having to neutralise the racing to deal with a safety incident. But then words are carefully chosen. They're not random. They are carefully chosen. This would indicate that the lawyers have been involved prior to the fix. Okay? The lawyers have been involved prior to the fix to make sure that what is being scripted here doesn't incriminate the perpetrators. And then when it goes to court, they could argue that that's not what they were saying. But what it does, it diverts your attention. So we'll just play that bit through again.
And you can make your own judgment.
Yes, let's make our own judgment.
Obviously, those lap cars, you don't need to let them go right the way around and catch up with the back of the pack.
Absolutely right, Jonathan. No, according to regulations, you don't, but according to sporting fairness, you do. Now, Jonathan, you are the team principal, aren't you, or the team manager, or whatever you are. You should have read the FIA International Sporting Code. You should have read the sporting regulations. You've signed to state that as a competitor in this sport, in the capacity that you act in, that you will adhere to the rules and regulations of this sport and the International Sporting Code. And now you are coercing the race director to breach sporting fairness to all competitors. So you are guilty of that. You just know better than Flavio Briatore. You're a cheat. You're filthy scum, and you'll be eradicated from this sport.
Understood. Need to let them
Understood.
go.
Just give us a sec.
Understood. Just give us a sec. You only need to let them go.
And then we've got a motor race on our hands.
See, there you're wrong, though, aren't you there, Jonathan? Not so clever lawyers there. You only need to let them go. Then we have a motor race on our hands.
Understood. Need to let them
Understood.
go.
Just give us a sec.
And then we've got a motor race on our hands.
No, Jonathan, you see, you don't need to just only let them go, because once they've passed the leader in the safety car will return to the pits at the end of the following lap. So that is you, them words there are you encouraging the race director to ignore the requirement for that safety car to do the additional lap that it must stay on track for once them lap cars have been released. So that is breaking the rules of the sport. You are a criminal, defrauding everybody. You're still earning millions in the sport though, aren't you, Jonathan? Now, this is the bit that I'm going to have to keep pausing, because whether it's this soundtrack that they use that picks up on the copyright, I really don't know. No, Michael, no. This is Sir Jim next to him. Hadn't bought his third share for 200 million at the time. Was just pumping money into the team through sponsorship money at the time.
No, Mike, that was so not right.
It was so not right. Okay. Now, Toto Wolff is quite an articulate man. Well educated, a billionaire, you know. But all he can say is it's so not right. Now, when you look at his words, when you listen to those words, they can be interpreted in several different ways. There's a manner of communicating where it leaves no ambiguity.
Mikey, what was that?
Michael, what was that? Michael, no, Michael, that was so not right. Michael, what was that?
Michael on race control.
Michael and race control.
Go ahead, Toto.
And again, sorry I have to keep pausing it, but like I'm saying, I have to try and overcome copyright.
You need to reinstate the lap before.
You need to reinstate the lap before. So what does that mean? What does that tell you? If you know nothing about this sport, what does that mean? And bearing in mind this is going out to a worldwide audience, it's attracted the new kiddies to watch it who don't know what they're doing. And they're just hearing, you need to reinstate the lap before. Oh, you need to rewind it to the point where your guy was in the lead. What? What you're on about, mate? Can you explain that, Toto?
Oh, that's not right. Toto?
That's not right. Why is it not right, Toto? You see, what you can do, Toto, is say, race control. The regulations are, once you release those lapped cars, the safety car will remain on track for a further lap. You didn't perform that further lap of the safety car, hence you've illegally started that race. Lap 58 had to be a safety car lap. That meant it was a safety car finish. That meant Lewis Hamilton is the winner of that event. You broke the rules on lap 57 by only releasing 5 of 8 cars. Hence, the last valid lap was the end of lap 56 in this race. You have to declare the result of this race as the running order at the end of lap 56. Because on lap 57, you have just broken the rules of this sport to set up that farce. Now, you could do that, couldn't you, Toto? But rather than do that, you read your script. You performed like another bad actor.
And then we got a motor race on our hands.
Here he is.
No, Mikey, no.
No, Michael, no.
Mikey, that was so not right.
It was so not right.
Mikey, what was that?
Why are you asking, what was that? Why aren't you telling him? Surely, again, team principal, signed up to this sport, been involved in the sport. Why are you asking, what was that? Why aren't you saying, well, that's clearly not acceptable. That is not allowed. This is what the rules and regulations of the sport are. This is what you've done every time. This is what we all know to be how this works. Well, what was that, Michael? Asking Michael what it was. And then Michael gets to respond, oh, it's called motor racing. And then the kiddies, the new kiddies to the show, think that that's motor racing. They're all playing their part.
Michael on race control. Go ahead, Toto.
Go ahead, Toto.
You need to reinstate the lap before. That's not.
You need to reinstate the lap before. So you see, that doesn't mean anything to people. Reinstate the lap before. No.
Right. Toto? Yes. It's called a motor race.
Toto, it's called a motor race. No, it's not called a motor race, Michael Massey. You see, a motor race, right? We call them a Grand Prix. Grand Prix contested over 58 laps, which is a distance of what, 200 odd miles, something like that. It'll tell you on Wikipedia what the race distance is. So it's a race over, say, 200 miles. And if, for example, something causes the suspension of that race with a few miles to go, well, they roll over the finish line in the order that they'd been in when that race was live. Yeah, that's the way it works. Okay, we can't continue contesting this because there's an issue in the last few kilometres of this race, just like the Tour de France. Yeah, the stage gets neutralised near the end. But no, here, no overtaking. It's neutralised. The positions that you had been fighting over during the 190 miles of this race, the 185 miles of this race, the positions that you'd achieved during that time, well, we just have to maintain them though. We've had our race. An incident has taken place that means that we've now had to halt the competitive nature of this to deal with the incident, and the result will be what had been achieved at that point in time. Everybody knows that, apart from the new kiddies. But Michael wants to say, no, it's called a motor race. We went motor racing. No, so what you've done, you've broken the rules. In a 200-mile race, you've broken the rules, and rather than have the advantages that had been earned over 185 miles of them, you've then wiped them all out. You've broken the rules. You've enabled one of the competitors who was losing to now gain a significant advantage, have the time deficit wiped out, know that they're now have a machine that is now in better condition because of the tyre situation, which the Mercedes couldn't do in accordance with the rules of the sport, or risk losing that track position in an event that should never have restarted, and hence throw away a victory because you're making your decisions in accordance with rules. And what you've done, you've broken the rules to set up that, and you refer to that as being a motor race. And the kiddies don't understand, because the kiddies see two cars and that excites them. Oh, one car's racing against the other. Oh, it's too exciting. It's like Fast and the Furious, episode 47. Oh, it's great. No, it's not. You see, it's not, because that's not how sport works. But the kiddies don't understand because you're mind conditioning them as part of your script. It's not a motor race when you do that, because a motor race is contested by all of the entrants to that motor race. All of the competitors are racing in that motor race. You know, in the films that you see, somebody starts at the back and they make their way to the front. They didn't get that chance because they just decided for just the first and the second to race off for the win in this race. The rest might as well not be there. We called that a motor race. That's not a motor race. You see, a motor race is between all competitors. You're blocked off third position. Michael, do you not realise that you're blocked off third from being able to contest for that race win? Do you not realise that you're blocked off 7th for being able to challenge 6th? Do you not realise you're blocked 12th from ever being able to challenge for 11th or 10th to get points in that race? It's not a motor race. It's a fix. It's a fraud.
Okay. Sorry. We went car racing.
We went car racing.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get the thoughts then of Martin Brundle on.
Well, if you want the thoughts of Martin Brundle, go and check out the other video, which the thumbnail is that one there. Brundle admits sub-meetings, because he knows an awful lot, and it's super uncomfortable for Formula One and its processes. The reason he knows a lot is because he's party to it. He's a key tool in their subversion. He's the man that is paid to subvert the minds of the audience, paid to condition our minds and beliefs with what Martin tells us is possible. Martin's the expert. Believe the expert, everybody. Believe Martin. He's the expert. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. I don't think it's mandatory, but that's normally on a wet day. I always say, and in Belgium, for example, they shouldn't let them catch up with the back of the pack, especially if they've released them when they're still dealing with an incident, Martin. Yes, that's what you said, Martin. The expert. Criminal. Anyway, that'll do on this video, but let's see if that one uploads now. If you're seeing it, it's obviously past copyright checks. We'll wait and see. Thanks for your time.